Right, welcome everyone to our June Cabinet meeting. I will hand over to Jessica just to do the preliminaries.
Good evening. Please only speak when invited to by the Chair. All participating members are to keep their camera on during the proceedings unless they're having connection issues. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand and direct all communications via the Chair. Please ensure officers remotely attending that your mics are muted when you are not speaking. If you are referring to a specific page or picture in the report, please refer to the page number. If you're having technical difficulties, please use the chat function in the Google Meet to alert the meeting. Please do not use the chat function for putting formal questions to the meeting or to make other comments. Any persistent destructive behaviour will result in removal from the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. There aren't long introductions this week, but I did just want to acknowledge and congratulate the Linkwork team for the award that they won with Lottie last week, and obviously the Britannia Leisure Centre team for the AJ100 award. Two fantastic awards back to back, as well as the Windrush artwork. Second Windrush artwork was installed in the Town Hall Square last week to commemorate and recognise Windrush Day. I did also want to highlight that it was Armed Forces Day at the weekend, and we have the inclusive Pride flag flying for Pride Week from the roof of the Town Hall today. Those are my only announcements. There are apologies from Councillor Mackenzie, and I acknowledge that Deputy Mayor Bramble and Councillor Maxwell are attending virtually. Just double check there's no one else hiding virtually. No, that's great. Are there any other apologies? No, I don't see any other apologies. Various officers and the Chief Executive attending virtually as well. There's no urgent items of business that I've been notified of. And are there any additional declarations of interest?
The school governor appointed chair is known to many as handling officer.
Okay. Does that go for all of us? Should we just say that? Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. Bear with me a second. So there's been, moving on to item 4, there's been no notice of intention to conduct business in private. We have had, under item 5, no deputations, questions or petitions. Is that correct? Yeah, great. Moving on to item 6, we're happy to agree the minutes? Agreed. Okay. So item 7 is capital update report in my name. Broadly as set out, I did just want to recognise the team for the work that they do month in, month out, but the work that we're doing here to delegate the decision around the extension to the lease of Bootstrap. I talk a lot privately and probably less publicly about the contribution of the council's assets and estate in its broadest sense to the economic and social life of the borough. I think the Bootstrap building really illustrates, though, by that careful curation and partnership work with Bootstrap, we support not just Bootstrap itself, but that creative economy and the VCS in Dalston and beyond. So that's really important. I'm really excited that we're continuing our park bins replacement work and look forward to a trip out with Councillor Woodley, or maybe Councillor Woodley's tripping out by herself to see the bins replacement and the park infrastructure work continues our investment, not just in our parks, but in our park team, which I think Parks and Green Spaces team, which I think is incredibly important for all of the work that they do. Apart from that, as I say, as set out, did anyone else want to come in or debate the report? Okay, agreed? Great stuff. Over to Councillor Chapman and the OFP.
Thank you, Mayor. The report here is the OFP for the last financial year, and it just ties up things at the end of the financial year. And the position we're reporting is very substantially the same as the one that we reported to the Cabinet last month. I think the takeout from it really is that there were a lot of work put in last year to keep costs within the budget, well, within the overspend reported earlier in the year, and we were successful in doing that. I think it's vital that the pressure continues to keep cost containment in budgets in view of the difficult financial position that we all know that we still face. If I could just use this time for a second just to add something about support payments to residents. The scheme, the support payments for fuel costs that we've been running for the last few months. Just to say, and thanks to the team for the successful work they've done on that. And so far, we've paid the £150 out to 41,000 residents, with an additional 6,320 receiving discretionary payments. The portal for applications is opened and running well now, and we fully expect further applications in, and we're expecting to pay out, I think, in excess of 10 million overall with the scheme. So thanks to all the staff involved in that, and I think it's a demonstration in the way that we make every effort there is to support our residents during this difficult time. If I may be permitted in the future, we'll use the OFP from time to time to update Cabinet on progress and the events in this area, because it's obviously as the cost of living crisis bites, it becomes increasingly important for all of us and our residents. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Chapman. And that obviously links back to the work of the Link Work team as well, and being a more proactive customer service team that can do this type of work and identify need during this cost of living crisis. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Are we happy to note the OFP? Noted. Right. Now, this is a big paper, a significant change, involves 2 Cabinet members and a Deputy Mayor. I've got Councillor Kennedy down to introduce the report from the room and formally move it, and then no doubt others might want to jump in off the back. I just want to thank our Deputy Director of Public Health who's in the room, and I can see Amy Wilkinson, Helen Woodland and Jackie Burke from the officer side, and Angela Birch as well, who've worked, I think, on the report. So, but I'll hand it to Councillor Kennedy.
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, you've named the officers that I was going to thank for their input into this piece of work. As we move into the new era away from CCGs to the integrated care systems, Cabinet is being asked at this stage in this paper to approve this framework in order to allow various services across the council. This includes the Children and Families Service, public health, education and early years, to be able to work in partnership with our colleagues across the wider NHS, in the voluntary and community sector, and in the City of London Corporation. This framework will deliver on the main corporate plan strategic priority of supporting children and young people to thrive, and it will focus on improving health outcomes for children, particularly those outcomes that have been identified by the recent City and Hackney Health Needs Assessment. In particular, it will support the recommissioning of health visiting, the family nurse partnership and school nursing. But at this stage, Chair, the Cabinet's being asked to agree the framework as part of a process that in the longer term will be key to greater integration, and there'll be more detail to follow at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kennedy. Deputy Mayor Bramble.
Thank you, Chair. Just to reiterate those comments, the framework is there to facilitate closer partnership working and enable teams to deliver the services that sort of wrap around children and their families in a way that is a lot more swifter and smoother, moving away from the models that we had before. So just thanking officers and other cabinet colleagues who have been working on this piece of work, including Amy and Jackie and Helen and Councillor Kennedy. And I think, as Councillor Kennedy said, it's a new era. Hackney's known for so many things, Mayor Glanville, innovation, thinking differently, but it's really important as we come out of the pandemic and we move forward that we're thinking of new ways of working, and this framework, in the way that it will be changing, will help us do that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Bramble. I note it comes back round the Health and Wellbeing Board in September. So look forward to that. Did I infer, Councillor Kennedy, that we might see it again at Cabinet as it develops, or is this going to really kickstart that work? And yes.
More details. More
Great. So I thank again the officers that have joined us remotely as well as in person, and the 3 lead members. Are we happy to agree the direction of travel and report? Agreed. Excellent. So that moves us on to item 10, which is the school governor report. Just to correct, there's only one school governor there that's been appointed. Okay. I personally don't know that person. I thought I might, so, but other people do. So,
thank you, Chair. Ophelia Carter, one of the people that works in Hackney Education, so many of us might know her in a capacity. And Councillor Kennedy and Councillor Woodley and I know her through the work she does on Schools Forum that supports schools.
Brilliant.
Where yeah, so that's the context of us knowing her. So it's just for colleagues in the room to agree it, and this is a good opportunity again, me, Mayor Glanville, to thank many of the governors that we see when we go to visit schools for all the hard work that they do and continue to do as schools continue to support our children and families as we're in a new wave of responding to the aftermath of the pandemic. They are critical. I think even before an away day, Mayor Glanville, we spent maybe half an hour speaking to one of our parent governors, as you well remember, and just wanted to thank them for their continued work and support that they offer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Bramble. Echo that thanks, and also to the team in Hackney Education that support them. I know there was a conference last week. They're really active and we're a really welcome part of the marketplace as well. So we're happy to agree the appointment as set out. Great. So, well, the Fourth Estate may have joined us. We're about to finish, unfortunately. There are no items of unrestricted urgent business under 2. Item 13 would allow us to look at exempt information, but there aren't any exempt items, I don't think. And item 13, no new items of urgent business. So we're done. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.